Today from 2.
I'm in a cave with Nick Cave.
G'day, mate.
From midday.
I'm on like a terrible phone line.
But now, it's Adam and Joe.
This is the voice of the big British castle. Adam and Joe are back on your digigram. They've been pouncing round and round outside the castle walls, but now they're back with their ridiculous radio show. Check it out, bro.
That's Morrissey there with the Smiths and this charming man. And this charming man is Adam Buxton. I can't speak for Joe. I don't think he's in any way charming.
I'm not charming, no. But my name's Joe. Hello, listeners. Welcome to Saturday morning here on BBC Six Music. We're Adam and Joe, and we're back.
We've been away for a very long time. I've found a new way of speaking.
Yeah, you've got a weird chesticle infection.
I've got I've got problems with my chesticles.
Are both your chesticles infected?
I think they might be. Yeah,
they're looking particularly withered.
Yeah, they are, aren't they? They're feeling very gluey and hanging quite low. But the good thing about it is that I now sound like Chuck Bass.
Do you think there are doctors that could diagnose you purely on the basis of your voice?
Oh, I wonder if they could. Well, if there's anyone out there listening...
If there's a chest doctor listening, I mean, really good chest doctors probably can, because they usually listen through a stethoscope, but over the years, you don't need the stethoscope. Right. Your hearing develops.
What about a chest doctor? Would they be any good?
Right, like the game of chess?
Yeah.
It depends if you've swallowed a pawn.
Right. I have done over the years. A couple of pawns. So, yeah, it's lovely to be back with you, listeners. We've really missed you.
We should thank the fantastic DJs who filled in for us as well, shouldn't we? Well, no, that's even kind of a tiny bit patronising, filled in for us.
Yeah, because they've been sort of on Six Music longer than we have, more or less. Yeah. Andrew Collins.
They've crushed us with their superior DJing skills.
And the Mighty Rich. And thank you so much to both of you for being here. And,
and sorry to anybody who resents us returning.
Yeah, that's true. Because, we understand that they've got a loyal following now that we are coming in and whittling all over with.
But do you know what? We've got, not only do we have quite a loyal following, we've actually got a sort of military sleeper cell.
That's
true.
Do you
remember?
Yeah, of course.
And we might awaken that military sleeper cell in the next link.
You can't help noticing that the world has gone slightly awry since we've been away, and that's because the squadron, I think, have
been dormant. But we're going to wake them up, and we're not going to pussyfoot. We're not going to soft pedal.
Yeah.
We are going to introduce and unveil a quite hardcore squadron command that's going to be a bit like getting up at 3:30 in the morning and jumping into a freezing cold lake.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
Short, sharp shock.
Shock to the system.
In at the deep end.
Like it.
So stand by if you're a squadron member. You're about to be reawakened.
But first, we're going to play some more music. We're going to ease ourselves slowly into this show, right? I mean, it's the first time back. I've hardly seen Joe in the last year or something. He's been away...
hiding behind a pillar.
He's been hiding behind a pillar. I've been working with Jennifer Aniston a great deal on a lot of her new movies.
Hiding behind a pillar.
And... what, a pillow or an actual pillar? We're just going to take it easy and relax. So I hope you're ready for a nice, relaxed show. Here's Vampire Weekend. They're giving up the gun. Good.
Always catch the beginning of the show. Black Squadron don't want to miss a thing. That's not the way Black Squadron roll. Went to bed at a reasonable hour. Gotta be sharp on Saturday morning. That's the secret of the Squadron's power. Black Squadron!
Boy, that jingle's beginning to sound a little dated.
Do you think? I think it's the latest up-to-date grime sounds of the streets.
You reckon? And also, I feel as if I don't really fit into that Black Squadron category. I didn't go to bed at a reasonable hour last night, I mean, I was all keyed up and ready for the show.
What time did you go to bed?
Well, about 12:30.
Really?
Yeah.
That's dangerous.
It's pretty late, isn't it?
That's sexy.
Well, it is a little bit sexy.
I mean, it's naughty.
Sure it is. I was going to go to bed at around 10. I thought, I won't go to bed any later than 10. And I'll have one glass of wine, and I'll write my notes for the show tomorrow, and I'll do a couple of jingles for the podcast, and then I'll go to bed after this glass of wine. One bottle later.
I'm looking forward to hearing the boozy jingles.
Yeah, I did a really
boozy chest infection jingles.
I did a really boozy jingle, which I'll play you later on because it's just
boozy jingles. That's the name of the Daily Telegraph's theatre correspondent, isn't it?
That's the gossip correspondent.
The gossip correspondent, of course. Boozy jingles.
How do you like my new laugh? I'm like Muttley.
That's good. That's exciting. Yeah. It's exciting having a chest infection. It's like a new you. You know, women's magazines should do big spreads about chest infections, you know, and how you can reinvent yourself.
Big chest spreads.
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea.
Actually, those are different women's magazines.
We were in a women's magazine, man. My wife's happiest moment.
Not a women's magazine.
The women's magazine. She came over to me with a big grin on her face, and she was looking all proud as if I'd just won a knighthood. and she presented her latest copy of Grazia to me and opened it up to the relevant page, and there our stupid faces were.
Wow.
Number 2 in their list of things to get excited about.
I thought we'd insulted Grazia quite roundly in our song wars.
We never miss an opportunity to insult Grazia, and
they love it.
And their lady brain rotting ilk.
Well, we're very flattered, and God bless them.
Yeah.
Listen, it's time for a Black Squadron command. Do you think we need to explain what Black Squadron is? I don't think we do.
No, I mean, they're an elite listening force. In the jingle, it explained these are the people that joined the show early, you know, especially in the first half hour. Because people, especially on a Saturday, the stragglers might get up later after a night of boozing and then join the show maybe around 11 or even midday. But Black Squadron are there from 10 a.m. and until 10:30 when they can stand down and have a toffee.
Right, that's an exciting incentive. But we're going to give Black Squadron a command, and the command is going to be 3 or 4 words. It's a simple instruction. What you have to do is then take a photograph of yourself executing the command, right? And then you have to send us that photo. You can email it to adamandjoe.6music@bbc.co.uk. That's Adam, A-N-D, Joe. Yeah?
Not an ampersand.
Not an ampersand.
Not an ampersand!
Or you can text us on 64046, and it's a sort of a photo race.
Sure it is.
Like, we judge the photos on the basis of speed and quality, and the best ones will go up on our website. And remember, by sending us the photo, you abandon all rights.
All legal rights.
All legal rights to that photo that can be used by the BBC for anything.
We might publish a...
We might
publish a really bad book of all the photos with them inside.
Yeah.
So that's what might happen.
Or we might just spend lots of our own personal money plastering it over buses with a giant word idiot hole on it. We're well within our rights.
Legal rights. Exactly. So you know, also the other thing I should tell you, listeners, while Joe isn't listening, is that he gets very competitive and upset if the number of photos that come in isn't up to scratch, right? So the record, I think, is around 150 photos for a Black Squadron command.
Really?
And if the numbers are straggling, if it's like in the 50s or something, Joe gets very moved.
But this is a tough command.
Right.
I mean, this isn't an easy command. This is in at the deep end.
Okay.
So that's asking a lot.
Sure.
But that's what you're like, aren't
Go on then, Chris Searle.
Okay, here we go. So we're going to give you the command, then immediately a record is going to kick in that's your free play.
Yeah, I'm gonna play you a bit of an instrumental smash from the Ninja Tunes remix album that came out on their 20th anniversary double CD, which I highly recommend last year, and it's by Two Fingers. It's called Fool's Rhythm, and I hope you'll enjoy it and groove around in a sexy modernistic way when you hear it.
Okay, stand by, Black Squadron. Here comes your command. The text number is 64046. The email, adamandjoe.6music@bbc.co.uk. The command is Leaning Tower of Stuff.
That's George Clinton with his atomic dog. It's a very dangerous kind of a dog.
There used to be a dog around this studio, didn't there? Do you remember at all?
Yes, his part of him was atomic. The back part of him was atomic, and he was very dangerous. I haven't seen that dog for a long time.
No, I forget its name, but yeah. Listen, thank you. Well done, Black Squadron. What an extraordinary response to the command, showing that they weren't dormant at all. They were poised.
They were just waiting for the right orders.
Yeah, we've been inundated with photos of leaning towers of stuff. And you know what? I don't think I want to talk about any of them yet, because I have to do a little bit more sifting and processing.
Sure. Let's just say, while we're on the subject of Black Squadron, that you can check out an amazing new Black Squadron logo that's been designed for us by James Hood. He's an illustrator who got in touch with me a few weeks back, and I looked on his website, thought his stuff was brilliant. So I hope, is going to do a few more drawings for the show. In fact, how many of them are up on the... Just one, okay. We should post that one of the ones of me and Joe that he drew. There is one. Okay, yeah, because Joe got a little upset when he saw the cartoon.
Hey.
James drew.
What do you mean? What are you talking about?
A little bit sensitive. I got a bit upset as well. But we should post it, and then people can see what we're talking about.
The idea of caricatures is that, they're not supposed to be flattering, are they?
No. Well, they're not really caricatures. That's the thing, is that they are sort of cartoonish.
Photorealistic.
Yeah, no, they're not photorealistic.
Right,
no. And James has got a very particular style.
They're beautiful. They're brilliant.
Yeah, I really love his drawings, but
Me too.
He goes for that slightly sort of naive, sort of childish style of drawing.
Yeah.
That's slightly grotesque as well.
That's a good choice of words.
So it suits us rather well, but unfortunately we're both quite vain. Is that safe to say?
Yeah.
So when we saw the naive, grotesque versions of ourselves, I think we were both a little stunned.
We need one of those illustrators like you get in films whose work looks as if it's been done via a correspondence course, like Leonardo DiCaprio in Titanic.
Leonardo.
Do you know what I mean? But like really beautifully photorealistic pencil drawings that might as well not be drawings.
Yes, just very, very flattering cartoons.
Yeah.
That's what we want. But in the meantime, James, we're very, very happy to have you on the team. So you can check that out at bbc.co.uk/6music. I want to say at this point, hello to Danielle Young. Hi, Danielle. She's hosting a listening party for Black Squadron members.
Wow.
What kind of a party is that? Maybe you could send us some photos, Danielle.
An amazing party.
An amazing
party.
Do you think Black Squadron are allowed champagne at this hour?
Yes.
Are they?
Yes.
Even if it's not
Black
Christmas?
Squadron are well known to be the only military division that can operate absolutely
Drunk.
steamed.
Absolutely
In fact,
slizzard.
they have to be. Slizzard.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen, having said I'm not going to pick out any of these photos, there is one that came in so fast from Douglas Guthrie. Dr. Douglas Guthrie, even. And he's done an amazing Leaning Tower. It looks like it was assembled quickly, but it's 3 chairs on top of a sort of armchair with some sort of huge rug and a pink handbag. And the thing I like about it is it nearly stretches from the floor to the ceiling.
Yes.
Which is very impressive.
On the very top of the thing,
so fast.
He's got like a giant poof.
A giant poof?
Or a couple of poofs,
Oh, you think
maybe.
it could be a beanbag?
Is it? What is it then?
I don't know. It looks like the thing the poltergeist makes when Mum turns her back and gets something out of the kitchen cupboard.
Right. I saw that film the other day on telly. It's good.
It's good, isn't it? Yeah.
Bears up really nice.
Yeah.
Listen, let's play some music because it's almost 10:30 and we've got news to come. So here is Everything with Final Form. That's Everything with Final Form. Adam and Joe here on BBC 6 Music. It's just gone 10:30. We're standing down the squadron. Hit the jingle.
Black Squadron! Stand down, your work is done. You've earned yourself a nice warm bath and maybe a nice little bun.
Incredible response from Black Squadron. Statisticians are calculating and collating the quantity of submissions. Stand by for the results
in the next half hour. But right now, it's time for the news with Claire Runacres.
It's Saturday morning on 6 Music. Adam and Joe are in the studio. They're gonna do their radio program. It lasts for 3 hours. In the show they play music and songs. In between they talk a lot about things. And people text in, that's about it. Adam's in the left seat, Joe is in the right seat. There was an argument about which seat to take. It's Saturday, Adam and Joe on Saturday. Everybody's looking forward to the 2-man talking. Saturday, 6 Music on Saturday. Everybody's looking forward to the rambling. Fun. Now it's time to start the show.
So that's been a phenomenal success for you, Adam, hasn't it? Because what's the story? Your mum...
My mum paid for me...
for your birthday, right?
Yeah, for my birthday, she paid for me to go into a studio and have a track produced by a couple of songwriting geniuses. And I never thought anything would happen with it. I went in there. It was a nice, fun present. My mum's always wanted me to be a pop star, is the thing.
And you popped it up on YouTube, just expecting some of your friends to check it out.
Exactly.
And then what happened?
Well, it started to snowball. The first evening, I was on 50 views. And by next day lunchtime, I had 55 views.
Next day lunchtime?
Yeah.
That's the new day of the week.
Next day lunchtime. But then after that, I think someone posted it or someone tweeted about it.
What?
I think maybe Stephen Fry tweeted it or something. And I got 100 million views in 24 hours.
And some people have been quite cruel about it.
Some people are saying that it's the worst thing they've ever heard in their lives.
How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel a little bit depressed.
Right.
And sad. And beleaguered.
But you're not going to listen to the haters. You're not going to let them affect you.
No, I'm going to carry on making bad jingles. Because that's what I feel I've been put on the earth to do. And also, I've made a huge amount of money from
Have you? Because there are different rumours going around. Some saying you've only made a few $1,000s.
No, I've made millions.
Others saying you've made millions.
Yeah, millions.
And what are you going to do with millions?
I thought I'd squander most of them. I'd give a little bit to charity, like a jingle charity.
Is there a jingle charity?
There is now. Yeah, I'm setting one up. For
yourself?
For jingle writers who, for the guy that wrote the, "Hey, Crusader, have you any nuts?
We've got mixed nuts and raisins.
Salted cashews."
Yeah, he's getting on.
He's getting on and he hasn't had any good jingle ideas recently. I don't know if that's true. That might not be true.
Really insulted.
So, yeah. But, no, obviously people are comparing it to Rebecca Black. And the whole Friday thing, which I think is a little reductive. But how did you feel about Rebecca Black while we're on the subject? That's a good segue.
How does
This is how radio works. How do you feel about Rebecca Black?
I felt like everyone else did. I felt amused, then saddened, then happy again, because I saw her on Ellen, I think.
On Alien?
Ellen.
Oh.
And she looked very happy.
Did she? Yeah.
Yeah, she looked upbeat. She weren't going to listen to no haters.
She's a nice person.
Yeah.
Her mum's not quite such an appeaser.
Oh, I haven't seen the mum.
Yeah, she's justifiably furious.
Is she?
Yeah, because it's cyberbullying, isn't it?
It is. She's only little.
On a massive scale. She's 13. And the thing is, when I first saw the thing, right, I didn't realise it was in the low millions when I first saw the Friday video. And I thought, well, this is amusing and a little bit bland and ha ha ha. But I didn't think it was the worst song ever made. You know what I mean? Have you listened to Radio 1 recently? There's a lot of stuff out there that's quite a lot worse than Rebecca Black.
It doesn't sound too far off a Justin Bieber track, does it?
No, I don't think so. It doesn't. I mean, Fly Like a G6. I'm sorry, but I would take Rebecca Black over that one.
I haven't heard that one.
Stinky pile of old poo.
Hey.
It's a ridiculous kind of...
What's Fly Like a G6? I haven't heard that.
I like a G.
Have you got it in your computer?
Popping bottles in the ice.
Because maybe that's a basis for a future Song Wars.
When we drink, we do it right. Getting slizzard.
That's where Getting Slizzard comes from.
Really?
Yeah.
It does feel like a kind of new type of music has been innovated, doesn't it?
Fly like a G6.
Do you think Rebecca Black is the start of something?
G6.
Well, a lot of people feel that she's the end of something. The end of all music and civilization.
The end of times.
No, I'm happy with Rebecca Black, and that's a fantastic, fun anthem, I think, for the weekend.
Yeah, and your jingle was good too.
Thanks a lot, man.
It's all right, man.
Hey, later on I'm going to play you one of the new jingles that I did when I was drinking wine last night for the podcast. Because don't forget, listeners, we have a podcast of this show, right? And here's the thing. We would both really appreciate it if you could help propel the podcast to the number one position. Because I don't think we've ever been number one in the podcast charts, have we? We've made it to number 2.
This is very mercenary. Is this allowed?
It's not mercenary. We're not making money out of it, are we?
Well, aren't we?
No.
Could we?
No. You don't make money out of podcasts, or we don't anyway. But we'd certainly like to see it at the number 1 spot, if only for 1 week. It would make a couple of
a day. Like iTunes moves so fast, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It could just if it was up there for an hour.
Would be nice. It It would make my mum proud.
How can people do that?
They can download it from iTunes, I think. And is there any other conveyor?
What about if you're in a friend's house?
BBC website you can go to.
Listen to me.
Listen,
if
I'm
you're in a
listening.
friend's house, you say, just pop into the loo.
Yeah.
And you don't go to the loo. You go into their office.
Why
and
the
you
subterfuge? Oh, I see, because you're going to...
you go into the office and you boot up their computer. And you log on and you download it on their computer. And while you're there, you also sneak around and have a read of their emails.
That's a good idea.
And some of their photos.
Their precious photos.
Yeah.
So you're boosting our listening figures by just downloading it.
If you're in a shop, if you're in like a department store, go to the computer department, download it.
Right. Sneak over to the till and distract the lady at the till.
Yes.
And then see if the till can download it.
Pick someone's smartphone out of their bag.
Now you're just
No, wait for it.
advocating theft.
Download it, pop it back.
Oh, you pop it back. Right. Or keep it, if it's a nice one. No, don't do that. All right, let's play some more music right now. Joe, is this your choice?
It could
Oh,
be.
no, it's after this one.
It isn't.
Now, this is a song I don't know anything about because I haven't
What's it called?
looked at my notes.
Cut copy.
Cut copy.
This is called Need You Now. It's available digitally and out physically on the 25th of April, and it's from their third album, Zonoscope. And we can't tell you much either than one of them's got a checked shirt, one of them's got a V-neck T-shirt, and the other's got a cardi and a T-shirt with a duck on.
What kind of sound are you anticipating here?
Wow, I
Looking
don't
at the
know.
picture.
But maybe something very dark and minimalist.
Guitars?
Possibly organs, kazoos.
Right. Exposed organs?
Yeah, exposed organs.
Okay, let's have a listen, see if you're right. Mate, you were absolutely right, mate.
They were Aussie, mate.
From Australia,
That's
and
so
they play
exciting.
synthesizers. They're Australian organists.
That's absolutely terrific.
Oh, mate, I'm so proud of
It's
them.
absolutely great.
They've done really well.
Well done, fellas.
Well done, you guys. It's so good. You should play a concert at Daphne's.
That's a good idea. Daphne's, she's just revamped it, hasn't she? She's got new
She's
Formica
painted
tables.
stripes. She's painted stripes down the walls.
But you know the note that Jeff left for Sandra?
Yes.
It fell out of his pocket and got stuck to Tommy's shoe.
I know, Jeff.
So I'm not sure what's going to happen
Jeff
now.
was going to tell Sandra everything, but just before he told her, she got a phone call and got distracted.
It's a terrible twist of fate.
I know.
But that's a great, exciting news band. Isn't it?
It is, mate. Cut copy. I like it.
So listen, hello listeners, this is Adam and Joe. You're listening to BBC Six Music on a beautiful Saturday morning. Thanks for listening, everybody. We had an extraordinary response to the Black Squadron command.
Record-breaking.
364 photos we've got, which is fantastic, but it's also problematic because it's very hard to judge which one's best in a kind of, equal way.
We're going to put pretty much all of them up on the blog, right?
I think so. Special shout out for Dave in Maidstone, who did a very precarious tower of jars.
Yeah.
It looked like he was risking his life to do it. One of those jars had toppled.
Yes, he balanced bottles end to end, neck to neck.
Yeah, and they almost touched the ceiling. Bell and Ems, they did an amazing tower in their hall with a Stephen King novel. One of the pleasures of this command is to see what stuff people have.
Yeah, to look into people's houses.
In their houses, yeah,
Sure.
what books and stuff. And Bell and M, that's a pretty
mean, the whole-
culturally sophisticated tower you had there.
Very nice. Lots of good stuff that we're into as well. But it's basically an excuse, A, to see people's houses, and B, to sometimes see people's pants.
Well, if we wanted to do that, we would have engineered a different Black Squadron command.
We'll do that next week.
Well, most weeks I have to stop your commands
Mine are
because of
mainly
their filthiness.
pants-based, aren't they?
Guy and Jenny made an amazing sort of pile of shoes, a kind of Jenga stack of shoes that stretched very high.
Yeah.
That was great. And then this one.
The one you're looking at is they've connected bits of fruit with cocktail sticks or something.
It's more like the sort of Pompidou Centre if it was made out of sticks and fruit.
It's a
and
beautiful
mushrooms.
picture, apart from anything else. I would hang that poster on my wall.
Who was that by? Let me have a look. It's by Maisie Evans.
A genius.
That was amazing. But thank you to everybody who sent a photo in, and keep an eye on our website, bbc.co.uk/6music. Oh no, that's the wrong website. bbc.co.uk/blogs/Adam and Joe. And pretty soon, all those pictures will turn up.
So around this time, we would normally start talking about Text the Nation, but obviously it's a bit difficult this week because we weren't on air last week, and the Text the Nation usually takes a week
It's a rollover.
get rolling,
Like
doesn't
the
it?
lotto.
Exactly. For Retro Text the Nation, which we'll be able to do next week.
But we're going to launch a Text the Nation, aren't we?
Are we just going to launch
Yeah.
right into it? Yeah.
Yeah,
What the heck?
we got to.
What the absolute heck? Let's do that after the next piece of music,
All right.
which is a free play.
Oh, this is a free play. Yeah, this is my favourite guy, Raphael Sadiq. He's got a new album coming out. It's called Stone Rollin'. I think he's doing a session for Radio 2 or something this afternoon for Giles Peterson. Radio 1, maybe. I was going to go, but I can't because I got to work. But this is his new single. It's called Good Man.
Stevie Wonder, mate.
He's not Australian.
He is Australian. He's fantastic. That was Higher Ground. You're listening to Adam and Joe here on BBC Six Music. Very nice to be back with you, listeners.
Yeah, and thanks for all the texts and emails we've had, all the lovely texts and emails. The text number is 64046. The email is adamandjoe.sixmusic@bbc.co.uk. You know, sometimes we get texts that are kind of asking for shout-outs. Mm-hmm. But we don't really do shout-outs.
No, we eschew a lot of the conventions of radio and blaze our own trail. We don't do guests. We don't do shout-outs. We don't do dedications.
You want me to do this one, right,
Yeah,
Adam?
I think we should do this
Why should we do this one?
I think it's nice to have the occasional shout-out.
Okay, I'm going to read it. It says, shout-out to the Torquay boys en route to Prague. Mon the groom, Shears, Ty, Lon, Dom, Locker, Mike, Shabba, Fadge, Spike, Kane, Nathan, Woody, Ross.
Whiffles, Donk, Bouncy Face.
So this is like, are they in a car, do you think, or on a coach?
Gumbly Merwin and
Mon,
Raljex.
Shears, Ty, Lon, Dom, Locker, Mike, Shabba, Fadge, Spike, Kane, Nathan, and Woody, and Ross.
They'll be in a coach or something, or on
On their way to Prague. Wow.
cross-channel ferry.
Who's your favourite?
Well, Fadge.
With an F.
Yeah.
We must make it clear. Fadge. Fadge is your favourite. I don't know. I'm split between Spike and Mon. Why aren't Zod, Non and Ursa there as well? Were they busy?
What about Raljex? He missed the bus.
What about Adobe?
Yeah, he's too busy with his Photoshop.
That's the only shout out we're ever going to do.
I'm going to do a couple of shout outs right now. To my godson, okay, Leo Jennings. He's listening. Happy birthday, Leo. Hope you have a wonderful day. Hope you enjoy your presents. I know I'm taking advantage of my position here in a way.
It's disgusting.
It's a little bit unprofessional, but I won't do it again. Happy birthday, Leo. And to Jerome O'Donohoe. Hey, Jerome. This is a song going out to you from all your buddies.
Why? What?
Oh, this is just a special mystery.
Yeah, but what? It can't be a mystery.
Yeah, it's just like
it's a mystery.
Mystery shout out
Right.
For Jerome O'Donohoe. And we're going to play a bit of Blondie for you, Ex-Offender. Here we go. That's Blondie with Ex-Offender. It was pointed out to us by a email correspondent earlier that maybe it was a little reductive to do an Australian accent after the track by, what were they called again? Cut Copy that we played earlier. I don't think he was a regular listener. If he was, then he would have become inured to the
he was
whole
very insulted.
Australian thing. It wasn't meant to be like a racist attack on the Australian nation. It was just meant to be a bit of fun with some Neighbours references. What's wrong with that?
Listen, it's time for another regular section of the show that we like to call Text the Nation. And this is a complicated segment, isn't it, Adam? I mean, that guy, for instance, might confuse him.
Yeah, it's tough to explain. Let's see. So, what we do is we...
You've lost me. Start again.
Okay, so to put it another way...
What?
All right. Well, it's like talking... We talk about a thing...
Listen, just play the jingle.
All right, then.
Text the nation. Text the nation.
What if I don't want to?
Text the nation.
But I'm using email. Is that a problem?
It doesn't matter, text.
So it's mainly just texting. For any reason.
What we do is we give you a subject, listeners, and you text us in on that subject, and we read out the best ones.
Or you can email.
You can email.
What's the
that's
email
true.
address?
Adam and Joe, all lowercase, Adam, A-N-D, Joe, .6music, the number 6, then the word music, at bbc.co.uk.
And the text number is 64046, if you'd like to text us your thoughts.
Text will be charged at your standard message rate.
Thanks, Dermot.
That's all right.
So, yeah, this week, because we've just started back after a very long absence, we thought we'd keep it incredibly vague and broad, right? So we thought that we would just ask you for anecdotes I mean, we did this once before, kind of, but we did it on ourselves. So we were giving our own anecdotes and then
We
asking...
invented an amazing game called Anecdotes.
Anecdotes. I mean, that's a fun name.
But that
isn't
was
it?
about our anecdotes.
Right. So we're going to mix our... Well, we'll sort of launch this Text the Nation with some of our anecdotes, some things that have happened to us in the last 15 months. So that's quite broad, isn't it? But we'd like to hear anything notable that you've got as well.
But just the most amazing thing that's happened to you in the last 15 months.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be like... You don't have to have met a celebrity, or you don't have to have gone to the moon or anything. It could be quite small and
We're
specific.
looking for
as
fun
well.
stuff.
Yeah, fun stuff.
Yeah.
We don't want anything too depressing. We don't want to hear about your
Well, you can
divorce.
send it, but we may not read it out.
Yeah, we don't want to hear about the collapse of your business and subsequent...
And in future
slide
weeks,
into
we'll
depression.
focus Text the Nation more accurately.
Yes, exactly.
But broad and vague are the watchwords.
Broad and vague. That's what we're going to rename this show.
That's what I look for in a woman.
My favourite qualities. Have you got... there was someone there who'd got his house burgled, wasn't there?
Yeah, that's right.
Who emailed us?
This is from Ed in Leeds. Hello, Adam and Joe. 5 months ago, while I was at work, my flat was broken into. The burglars took almost everything I own, including my ancient VCR, my computer games, my TV, my power drill, my shirts, DVD player, Xbox, laptop, and almost all of my DVDs. Arriving home and discovering my flat had been stripped of everything I hold dear, I phoned the police. While waiting for them to arrive, I noticed the burglars had not stolen one of my DVDs. It was the Adam and Joe Show DVD. However, they had taken the Steven Seagal collection and a fishing DVD from the Pound Shop.
Wow.
Have a lovely day. Shout out to my peeps in Black Squadron. Ed in Leeds.
I can understand them putting Seagal over us, but the fishing DVD, that's a bit hurtful. But thank you very much to Ed in Leeds for that. Sorry that you got burgled.
What's a thing that happened in the 15 months for you, Adam?
Well, I've just been trying to think.
You haven't got anything.
Almost nothing. I'll tell you one thing that happened to me, right? And this was something, I mean, this could almost be a Text the Nation in itself, perhaps, was I had some avoidance on a train, like from someone I know. Do you ever get this? You see someone in a public space and then too late, like you see them for a split second,
yes,
but too late they duck out of the way and try and hide from
that
them.
happens to you a lot, though, doesn't it?
Not a lot.
Well, you've got another big anecdote about that guy. Do you
Yeah,
remember?
Jeremy Sheffield from...
I suppose that was years ago.
Doctors and Nurses or whatever. Yeah, he's an actor and he's a nice chap and we're pals. Well, I haven't seen him for a long time.
When
but
he sees you in the street, he turns and runs.
one time he turned and he ran down an alley to avoid me. But it happened again the other day. But I wasn't that hurt because I so understand the impulse, you know what I mean? Sometimes I have the same impulse myself. Everyone does. You see someone and it's just not the right time to have a conversation because you're too busy or, well, particularly getting on a train when this happened. This happened at Norwich Station, right?
Yeah.
And I was just about to go down to London and I saw this chap and he was also about to get on the same train. And
this is an old friend.
This is someone I've known for a few years, yeah. It's actually a TV comedian. I won't tell you exactly who, might embarrass him. But he got on the train and he got in the carriage and he realised that he saw me sitting there, like putting my stuff on the racks and stuff. And then he just immediately, he went through a little bit of theatre, sort of looking around, checking his ticket, like, oh, I'm in the wrong carriage. And then he got off, went down and got on another one. And I'm pretty sure that, he'd seen me and he was thinking, I'm not really going to sit there. And and as I say, I wasn't hurt. I definitely wasn't hurt because I thought that's completely fair enough. I understand that as well. You want to just keep yourself to yourself on a train journey and it's a nice 2 hours.
He would have felt he was obliged to sit next to you and talk to you.
Exactly, of course. But that's the thing is that the only thing I would say to him if he's listening or if someone identifies him and tells him this anecdote is don't worry, man, that's cool. I don't want to talk to you either. I just want to, I mean, I do. You're a lovely guy and I wish we should go out for coffee. But it's all right, you know, it's fine. One of the great things about attaining maturity is just to be able to see someone in the street, as I did the other day with James Backman. Do you know him? He's a funny comedian that pops up in Mitchell and Webb's shows and things like that. And I was cycling along, saw James on the side of the road there.
You blanked him?
No, we just gave each other a little cheery wave, and that was enough, you know? I didn't have to get off my bike and have an awkward, like, hey, what are you doing? And how's things? All right, yeah, see ya. Make silly promises about hooking up that we were never going to keep. Just waved and went on my way. It was cool.
So to recap, Text the Nation's just about anything that happened in the last 15 months. A guy was burgled. Adam avoided a comedian on the train.
No, he avoided me.
The text number is 64046. The email adamandjoe.6music@bbc.co.uk. It's very broad. It's really broad.
Well, let's see how it goes. Also, can we say, keep it brief?
Wow.
We don't want like big long essays, otherwise we'll never be able to read them all.
I mean, we're taking it very easy because this is the first show.
Treat it like a tweet, right? Try and keep it, it doesn't have to be 142 characters or whatever it is, but keep it short. Okie dokie. Now let's play some Elbow. This is Open Arms. Good stuff. That's Elbow with Open Arms. Don't forget you can hear Guy Garvey, lead singer of Elbow, of course, on 6 Music tomorrow night at 10. So tune into that. I've got a free play coming up right now, and it's a bit of Walker Brothers from 1978. Do you like Scott Walker, Joe? Have you?
Yes.
Yes. That's the right answer. This was the first material that Scott Walker had written, original material, since 1970. So a long period of absence for Scott.
Lazy.
A little bit lazy.
How lazy?
And I think also he was playing a lot of Jenga and eating a lot of donuts, that kind of thing. But he came back, and with the rest of the Walker Brothers, can you name the other 2 Walker Brothers, Joe?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Go on then.
Not now.
Gary Leeds.
Right.
John Mouse.
Fadge. And Mon.
And Mon. They were the other Walker Brothers that no one talked about. But they came back with this album, Night Flights, and it was quite weird, and sort of pointed the way that Scott Walker was going to go thereafter. Scott only wrote the first 4 tracks, and the other guys, wrote the other tracks. So the album was more or less, 3 mini solo albums. It's interesting, isn't it? And Scott's tracks were quite different. I'll tell you someone who was influenced by it, Joe.
Who could that be?
David Bowie was very influenced by this.
Oh no, I'm being influenced by something.
Being heavily influenced him on.
Stop it, it's too powerful.
It's influencing me.
No.
That guy's going to be upset again.
He'll be, being doing racist Bowie accents.
Racist Bowie. But Bowie even covered the song that I'm about to play, Night Flights, on his album Black Tie, White Noise. And there's quite an amusing music video for it that I'd never seen before. I was doing a lot of Bowie surfing last night. It's great with Bowie, man. You can just go from vine to vine on YouTube, checking out his interviews. There's so many of them out there. I saw one with Mavis Nicholson that I'd never seen before from around this period, 1978. Anyway, Bowie's covered this song. I'm not going to play the cover, I'm going to play the original. But check out the video on YouTube for Bowie's version. He's doing his thing where he's like doing his dance moves like he's a conductor crossed with a very busy man. Do you know what I mean? So he's doing all these kind of moves. A coffee? Yes, please. I'd like one. Hang on, there's a spider's web in front of my face. A coffee? Yeah, actually, I'll have 2 coffees, please. I'm pushing through a veil of gauze. There's another spider's web in front of my face. Who keeps leaving them here? That kind of thing. That's what he's doing in the video.
And so we can picture that while we listen to this track.
You could call it up on YouTube and look at it.
Sync them up.
Yeah, sync them up if you want. And here's a little introduction by Bowie to this track, Night Flights by the Walker Brothers.
Scott Walker brought out the most extraordinary album of his own songwriting. Quite the most lovely songs that I'd heard in years. Night Flights is one of them.
Night Flights was.
That's great. Have you ever listened to that on a night flight?
No, I would love to, though. It's so evocative.
That would be a fun Text the Nation, wouldn't it? Songs you've listened to sort of in the, while doing the thing that they're about.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah?
That's quite specific, isn't it?
Yes.
I've listened to Bicycle Race by Queen on a bike.
Having a race, though?
No.
I bet you someone has.
What, would that not count, then?
No, it's got to be it's got to be exactly what they're singing about in the
really?
song.
That would be a good challenge, even.
Yeah.
Can we pick some songs for... people have to act out exactly what's happening in the song?
We could get an ITV2 series out of that.
We could.
Couldn't we?
ITV1 series out of that.
You think?
That's a good song, though, isn't it? And
that's great.
1978, wow. That's...
amazing. That was before recording methods were invented. So how did he record that?
He carved it out of tree bark.
Wow.
And then got woodpeckers. He connected some woodpeckers up to hi-fi.
1970 when?
78.
Amazing. Imagine being alive then.
I know, there wasn't any texting or anything.
Amazing.
No, they didn't
so
have-
old.
There was no Twitter.
Have you... What?
They didn't have Twitter.
Have you... Did you make up any jokes over the 15-month period?
Boy, now you're asking.
I mean, because you would have known that we were coming back on air, so you might have made up a joke and jotted it down, like I did.
Did you?
Just one.
Just one joke in 15 months.
It's no good,
Is it not?
but at least I squeezed one out.
Come on, let's have it then.
Right now,
Yeah,
it's no good.
come on.
I mean, it's based on a very old thing as well.
Well, is it? I mean, let's have it.
Did you hear about the new Danny DeVito film where he plays a man, and this is made up?
Don't keep...
The important thing is it's made up,
Yeah.
right? So I
Sure.
believe this is entirely original.
Okay.
So, yeah, that mitigates against any quality issues. Mitigates against any quality issues. Did you hear about the new Danny DeVito film where he plays a man whose mum is addicted to a small blanket and he has to gradually teach her to live without it? It's called Train Mama from the Throw. Now, I made that up. Have you made up any jokes?
No, but I mean,
Are you saying that's so bad?
I considered some that
That
were
it occupies a
better than
negative
that,
space.
and I thought they weren't.
Did you?
reading
Where
out.
are they then? Where are they then?
Well, they're in a. I threw them in the bin.
Are you saying
Where that one
Are you
belongs.
saying really?
No one's going to be stealing that one. Did you see the whole Ed Byrne, Ed Byrne, Keith Chegwin Twitter debacle?
I didn't know.
Because Cheggers was. I mean, this is old news, right?
I can't
This
believe
was.
you're just riding roughshod over my joke.
It's Train
I mean,
Mama from a throw.
It's supposed to encourage listeners to make up their own jokes and send them in. Because
Yeah.
we have a regular segment
Made up jokes.
called Made Up Jokes.
But it has to be, and the whole. Well, let me tell you about the Ed Byrne and Cheggers debacle because it underlined the fact that it's so important that they are made up and not stolen. Because Ed Byrne got into a contretemps with Cheggers, who was tweeting loads of jokes. Like that was his thing on Twitter. Maybe it still is. It's just to tweet loads of jokes, but often they were sort of jokes that were doing the rounds. So, sometimes they were just sort of traditional jokes that everyone tells, kind of knock-knock jokes or whatever. But then some of them were actual jokes that, comedians were still using in their stand-up sets or whatever. And he wasn't necessarily crediting the people that had written the jokes. So Ed Byrne mentioned that, he was a little surprised and perhaps it would be a good idea if he did credit them. But anyway, that opened up a whole spat which went on for ages. It sort of got quite nasty for a while. I think they've settled their differences now. But one of the names that kept coming up in the whole situation was, I went for the word situation after thinking about that for a while, was Timmy Vine, because he's a joke craftsman.
Joke machine.
But the thing is, his jokes are so classic, they feel as if they've been around forever. People just often use them and don't even bother to credit Timmy Vine. And that has happened in made-up jokes before, hasn't it? People have sent in jokes which listeners have then said, that's a Timmy Vine smash, that's a classic Timmy Vine. So you've got to be so careful, is what I'm saying.
You've got to be very careful.
Got to be ever so careful with, it's got to be absolutely authored. Joe's joke, for example.
Train Mama from the Throw.
There's no way that Timmy Vine would touch that.
Well, that's what's amazing. I mean, it might not be a good joke, but it's I bet you no one's ever,
No, I don't think anyone ever would have considered that.
But that's the thing. That's the key. That's the magic.
Yeah. So listen, send us your made up. You could send them right now. If we get some good ones before the end of the show, we'll read them out. We'll even play a jingle with it. It's 11:30 and it's time for the news. Belle and Sebastian, I want the world to stop. It's not going to stop, mate. Got to get used to it. This is Adam and Joe here on BBC Six Music. Very nice to be back with you listeners. Little shout out going out to our team here. Thanks so much, James Sterling, our producer. Make some noises like a posse, Joe.
Whoa!
That's not very good. You come on, and let's have a shout out for Lucy.
Hooray!
For Tom.
Ooh.
And that's the Adam and Joe team here at BBC Six Music. Who's the controller of BBC Six Music?
Bob. Yeah, you got
Shout out for Bob Shannon.
Hooray!
Yay! Who else should we do a shout out to?
No one.
Okay. Hey, I should do one for my brother. It's his birthday. Uncle Dave.
Uncle Dave.
Come on.
Woo! There you go.
Nice one.
Yeah.
So listen, Joe, when was the last time you heard the Rumpelstiltskin story?
The Rumpelstiltskin story. Not for a long time.
Are you familiar with the details still?
Well, oh man, I'm not even sure I can remember what Rumpelstiltskin is. Now, remind me.
Well, you probably think it's like a grunge band who...
I get it confused with Struwwelpeter. Struwwelpeter, which is that sort of terrifying drawing of the stick man.
Was Struwwelpeter Brothers Grimm as well?
I don't know.
But yeah, Struwwelpeter was the guy that went around. He had unruly fingernails, didn't he?
Something like that.
And in the end, he got not only his fingernails chopped off, but his fingers too.
Oh no!
And that's a fun story to tell children.
Kids love that kind of thing.
But you are, you're a story craftsman, right?
Right.
You understand how stories work and why they are told.
Yeah.
So what is the logic then? What was the Brothers Grimm logic of sort of telling these terrifying stories to children? And
well, they're allegorical, aren't they?
Right. So there's what's the good thing about scaring the bejesus out of
because the world is scary.
Right.
And it's better to... These real questions?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah,
I mean,
why do you find yourself telling stories to your kids that you wonder about their, whether they'll just freak them out and whether they're getting any allegorical
I just
fibre?
feel, the thing is I have to go off on tangents because I feel I have to explain everything. I'm like, well, this is a grotesque... Like when I was reading Rumpelstiltskin, right, the other night, here, I'll fill you in on some of the Stiltskin facts. This is the boiled-down version of the Brothers Grimm story from 1812. In order to make himself appear more important, a miller lied and said that his daughter would spin straw into gold. You remember that? The king heard of this, right? And he called for the girl and he shut her in a tower room with straw and a spinning wheel and demanded that that she spin the straw into gold by morning for 3 nights or be executed. So already it's quite horrific. You've got like a father who's not, he's an idiot. He's been boasting about his daughter's non-existent magical powers. You've got a brutal despot ruler who locks her in a tower. He's so greedy, he wants the gold. And he's a moron as well because he doesn't realise you can't really spin straw into gold. And you've got this poor girl locked up in the tower. She's only got 3 nights to spin the straw into gold. And she's visited by a little gnomey man, Rumpelstiltskin. And he jumps into the room. Hello, I can help you. I can spin the straw into gold for you. That's how he sounds. And so that's nice. Gets her off the hook. What will you give me in return for the spinning in the... Shall I carry on doing that?
Yes.
Spinning the straw into gold. So she...
What did you say he was, a gnome?
He's a little gnomey man.
We're going to get a lot of emails from little gnomey men now.
Saying that it's a reductive accent I'm doing.
Yeah.
No, little gnomey men speak in a normal way. They don't talk like this necessarily. Well, Rumpelstiltskin did, though. I have it on good authority. That's exactly how he sounded.
Yeah.
So anyway, she gives him like a ring the first night. The second night he comes back and she rewards him with, some air miles or something. And then the third night... The only thing that she has left to say thank you to Rumpelstiltskin with is the promise that she will give him her firstborn child.
Sure thing.
What
else are you going to fall back on?
That's all she's got. And the reason she makes the promise is because she thinks, I'm probably never going to have kids. I don't really want kids. I'm too busy. I'm going to set up a spinning straw into gold business and stuff like that. And I'm going to be too busy to have kids. So there's no problem making this promise. Anyway, sure enough... The king, after she's spun all this straw into gold, is so pleased with her performance that he decides to marry her. You would think she would run a mile from the homicidal king, right? But no, she says, yeah, that would be great. And they get married.
The king.
He's the king, right. She thinks, Brills, let's get married. And then they have a child. Yeah, I definitely want to have children with you, the guy that threatened to murder me. So they have a child, and sure enough, Rumpelstiltskin comes back to collect on the kid, right? Yeah. So this is absolutely horrific, grotesque story going on here. And the only way she can get out of it is if she is able to say his name. At this point, she doesn't know what the little gnomey man's name is. And he says, if you can guess my name, then you can keep the kid.
Wow, it's brilliant.
So she tries to guess his name, she sends messengers out over far and wide, and they come back with lots of different names. Is your name Mon? Is it Fudge? No, my name is not Mon. No, it is not Fudge. No, it is not Raljax. And she thinks, oh no, I'm going to lose my child to this gnomey man. What's the gnomey man even going to do with the baby? Why does he want a baby? I'm not saying that gnomey men aren't going to make good parents, but and these are all the caveats I have to make while I'm reading the story out, right?
It's impossible to tell any story on the BBC without getting into trouble.
And then, so basically, one of the messengers that she sends out happens across the little hut where the Nomi man lives. And the Nomi man is dancing round the fire, thinking he's alone, celebrating, and he is singing, "Today I brew, tomorrow I bake, and then the prince's child I'll take. The prince's child I will take, for no one knows my little game, that Rumpelstiltskin is my name."
Oh, he gave it away. He gave it away.
Gave it away. So the messenger goes back, tells the...
sure thing.
And she busts him. And here is the original ending...
Is that...
of the story,
Yeah.
right? When she correctly guesses Rumpelstiltskin's name, he flies into such a rage that he bashes his foot through the floor. And on one of the versions of the story, he tears his foot out and his whole body splits in two. Is that a good story?
That is a good ending.
And then another version of the ending, because there are many versions over the years, another version, it says on Wikipedia, another version has Rumpelstiltskin exploding and killing everyone within a mile.
Yes.
What's that? So I'm telling this to my little daughter, nearly 3. And it's just a minefield of explaining. And
She might be too young for the story.
You reckon?
You want to give her stories like about ducks going back to their pond.
She demanded it. She picked it out.
Simpler stories.
Rumpelstiltskin! She wanted that one.
I mean, it sounds like quite a complicated, economic allegory, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. For somebody who gets themselves in hock to some sort of rich person by making a promise they can't deliver on.
Evils of capitalism.
And then ends up secretly making a pact with some awful moneylender or something.
Right.
And then is in hock to the moneylender. The firstborn child is maybe some sort of metaphor for their future or something.
This is why I asked you.
Isn't it?
Story guru.
But that's what it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I don't know about the exploding
See, my
thing.
mind is too literal. All I can see is just a frightening dwarfy man who explodes and kills everyone within a mile.
Why hasn't Hollywood rebooted that one, though?
You would think they'd
That's
go to
amazing.
that before Red Riding Hood, wouldn't you?
Wouldn't you?
I don't know. That's an idea. Get on it, Joe Cornish.
Okay.
Here's the Strokes. Two kinds of happiness there. That's the Strokes. You're listening to Adam and Joe here on BBC Six Music on a delightful, balmy Saturday afternoon.
Now, Adam, just to shut you up about Italian neo-realist cinema, right?
Oh.
You go on and on about Pier Paolo Pasolini.
We're having a little festival tonight at my house.
Are you?
Yeah.
You love all his films, Medea. You love Gospel According to St. Matthew.
Oh.
Shut up about it.
Love Gospel According
You
to St.
particularly love Theorem, his 1968 film, right?
Well,
I wish you would stop going on about it.
That's what I named my sons after, yeah.
Yes. And so just to shut you up, I'm going to play Ennio Morricone's theme from Theorema from 1968, beat number 3, all right?
Oh, good. I love
Just
this
to make
one.
you happy. Here we go.
It's a finger popper. Public Image Limited there with Public Image. This is Adam and Joe here on BBC Six Music. And I think we're going to dip ourselves gently back into the fetid waters of Text the Nation this week. Let's have the jingle.
Text the Nation. Text the Nation. What if I don't want to? Text the Nation. But I'm using email. Is that a problem? It doesn't matter. Text.
Yes, Text the Nation is the segment of the show, listeners, when we give you a subject to text in on and you text in on it and we read them out.
Simple as that, right?
I mean, today's subject is awful. I mean, it's really
It's not so
awful.
much a subject as...
This is one or two people have emailed in claiming this is the worst Text the Nation ever. How do you feel about that?
Well, that's fine. It's the first show back.
I mean, they're
after
happy to hear us back.
15 months.
But they think this is the worst. We've come back with the worst one ever.
Well, it's a catch-up one. It's a hi, how you doing one. It's not nice to point out that it's the worst one ever.
I mean, basically, there are no criteria.
No, it's like get in touch.
Just
with
anything,
with
any story,
words,
anything.
with a collection of words.
So this is going to be really random, and maybe you can help the listeners by responding to these in an either more or less enthusiastic way.
Listen,
so we know
you haven't seen someone for a long time.
Yeah.
You don't go into specifics immediately. You just say, "Hey, what have you been up to?" Right?
that's a good point.
That's what we're doing.
How are you doing?
Yeah,
that's what it should have been.
What's been happening?
What's been going down?
Yeah, exactly. What do you think of Charlie Sheen? Whoa, that guy's crazy.
Here's one from Daniel Maroney. He says, it's very simple, this one. He says, this is the best thing that's happened to him in the last 15 months.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I saw the man who presents the weight loss show Fat Families on a train to Birmingham.
Is that really it?
That's it. He only thought it through.
That was it for 15 months.
Yeah. Okay, so you don't like that one, listeners. You get that, but he didn't like. Bucky's didn't
That's
like
nice.
that.
I mean, I'm not saying I didn't like it. Who was that from?
That was from Daniel Maroney.
Good stuff, Daniel. That's good, man. I can't believe you.
You're so two-faced.
I can't believe you thought you saw that guy from the weight loss show. What are the chances?
Here's one from Vicky Nash.
Yeah.
Hey, Buckleballs and Count Corn on the Cob. What do you think about that?
That's a little familiar, isn't it?
Quite recently, I was at my trampolining club at college practicing front somersaults. As a cause of my over-rotation, I think she means as a result of my over-rotation.
Or even because of.
Yeah. I landed on my toes and catapulted forwards. I skidded on my face and underneath the mat, which covers the outside of the trampoline where the springs are, and I got a face full of springs.
Wait, she skidded on her face?
This is... She did. She had a religious crisis in midair and it made her fall over. And she got a spring in her face. So how about that one? I mean, that's just kind of confusing. I think it means she hurt herself
to summarize,
quite badly.
She was doing gymnastics and she fell.
No.
I would say
she was on a trampoline. She fell. She skidded on her face.
On her face.
On her face.
Yeah.
Underneath the trampoline.
Underneath. That's good. That's
Vicky,
a good story.
I thought that was brilliant, Vicky.
I can't believe he saw that guy from the weight loss show.
Do you want another one? I mean, this is your fault.
Yes, I like it. It's going well.
You've made your bed. I think you should sleep in it.
This is a good Text-the-Nation.
Steve Temper.
Yeah. Good name. Good anecdote.
I came from college a few months ago.
That's Tiny's dad, right?
I came home from college a few months ago to hear my mum's plaintive voice crying for help. She's always had ill health, so I panicked. I rushed around the house looking for her. I found her in the kitchen. Turned out she wasn't having a heart attack or a stroke, but she was bottom up in the air with her head stuck down the side of the fridge.
What kind of story is this?
It's one of the ones you asked for. It's an anecdote. I laughed so hard I fell over. Come on, mum, head stuck down the front of the fridge. Surely.
Stuck down the front of the fridge.
Side of the fridge.
Why? What's it doing there?
I don't know. He never explains. I'm going to move on to another one quickly. Do you want another one?
Yeah, go on.
It's hard. There's so many.
Yeah.
It's hard to pick out the good ones.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Jamie Taylor says, hey guys. No, I have to skip through some stuff. Hang on. Here's my anecdote. Last week I was in... I'm not even going to read that one out.
What?
Last week I was in my English class, which was the last day... Okay, last week I was in my English class, which was last day of the day, eagerly awaiting the bell to ring, so I could rush to jazz band practice after school. Listen, give me some time with that one.
That's a good one.
Let me read it through.
Already I was getting... That was a fun one.
I need to rewrite
jazz band practice, last day of the day.
So that's the end of this Text the Nation segment. We may or may not revisit it later in the show.
Sure, we're going to roll it over to next week. What are you talking about?
We're going to roll it over to
Imagine Retro Text the Nation next week.
We'll try and be a bit more specific next week, you know.
It's going to be amazing. I've got a few made-up jokes, but I'll share those with you in a bit, because we are just about to push through the noon barrier, ladies and gentlemen. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1... We're through the noon barrier! Here's the sound. Go team. Apollo Throwdown. I don't like it when people look in my eyes and see my soul.
No, it's intrusive.
I find it very intrusive. I like to cover my soul. If at all possible. That's
how profound.
It's private.
It's very private. Hey, do you know, do you ever watch the repeats of that outer space show, you know, Wonders of the... Is it called Wonders of the Universe?
Is that the modern one with Professor
Brian Cox? Dr. Cox.
I don't think I've ever seen...
Have you never seen it?
The whole thing. No, I know that it's supposed to be very good.
You know that pleasurable thing when you're lying in bed and the sky at night comes on?
Yeah.
Do you ever watch that?
With Mr. Moore.
With Patrick Moore, and they show these incredible, computer simulations and photos of distant galaxies.
Simulations?
Yeah.
What's a simulation? You know what? I never even used to watch that.
Really?
I could never get past Mr. Moore himself.
But you like space. You like Star Trek and space stuff.
Absolutely love space. Want to live in space.
And there's a point at which that stuff becomes so sort of abstract and meaningless that it's weirdly soothing and awe-inspiring.
Sure. And
Professor Dr. David Cox, on his amazing smash hit BBC One series, Wonders of the Universe, has taken this to new levels. They've got some incredible computer simulations of distant nebulae.
Yeah.
They're really stunning. And it's a big smash hit, this programme. And I think lots of people are watching it. But it really is really entrancing, even if you don't understand what the hell he's talking about.
Right.
It becomes like a sort of amazing abstract poetry or some kind of art installation. These incredibly beautiful simulations of galaxies done on computers, with this awe-inspiring music playing behind it, and then the dulcet, soft tones of Professor Cox telling you all these amazing names and mind-boggling statistics about these things. It's quite a trippy experience. Here's a clip from the latest episode 4. Have a listen to this.
This is the Lagoon Nebula. The Lagoon Nebula sits about 5,000 light years from Earth, but it can still be seen with the naked eye because it's 100 light years across and brightly lit by the hot, young new star that sits at its centre. A giant called Herschel 36.
So it's 5,000 light years from the Earth. It's 100 light years across. It's a hot new star called Herschel 36.
I've been reading about Herschel 36, yeah.
It's the hottest new star in the galaxy.
Sure.
He's huge. He's absolutely huge.
Isn't he going out with the lady with the haircut?
Yeah, and it's a difficult... What lady with the haircut?
Tina Pimples.
Yes.
The one who was in Education.
But it's a difficult relationship because they live a long way apart.
Right, galaxies apart.
Well, he's 5,000 light years away.
Sure.
And she's in Chingford.
What's the girl's name? The one I'm thinking of, the actress. You know, she's very famous.
With the haircut?
She's got a haircut. Carey Mulligan.
That's right, Carey Mulligan.
And she's going out with
Herschel 36.
Wow.
But it's a difficult relationship to sustain because of the distance and because he's 100 light years across.
That's age. I mean, imagine the phone bills.
No, but he's very fat.
Oh, I see. He's
100 light years across.
That's a little embarrassing.
It's a bit embarrassing socially, and he can't get out of their house.
Yeah. Why is... I mean, what has he been eating? Galaxies?
I don't know.
Too many
Possibly.
galaxies.
Now listen to this clip. So as if that isn't awesome enough, have a listen to this clip.
This newly born star is over 20 times more massive than our sun and burns much hotter, which makes the light that pours from its surface blue.
So it's 20 times more massive than the sun. We're still talking about Herschel 36.
I thought he was talking about his sun.
No, he's 20 times more massive than the sun, and blue light pours from his surface.
Whoa.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, I mean, that's...
Can you visualise Herschel 36?
Yeah, I think he's in the Blue Man Group, isn't he? He's like a big blue guy.
He's like one of the guys from Avatar. But if that isn't enough, then there is actually a star out there that dwarfs Herschel 36.
Justin Bieber.
No, that's not her name.
Oh.
Let Professor Cox tell you.
Mm-hmm.
7,500 light years from Earth is a star that dwarfs even Herschel 36. Its name is Eta Carinae.
Right. So it's even bigger than Herschel 36.
I love Eta Carinae.
Eta Carinae.
Did you see her last film?
Well, she was in Avatar, I'm sure, wasn't she?
Yeah. Oula poopilala.
Yes.
Jake Sully, you are so stupid.
Does that mean anything to you, what you just heard?
It means that I love the sound of Brian Cox's voice. Have you ever heard, Jeremy Dyson from the League of Gentlemen?
Yes.
He's got the same voice.
Oh, you're absolutely right. It's lovely, isn't it?
It's that lovely, very nicely pronounced sort of northern voice.
But the words he's saying, I mean, they're sort of meaningless, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, the measures he's talking about.
Without even thinking.
But the measures he's talking about are these things are so massive, they're beyond any comprehension, aren't they?
It boggles the mind.
They don't relate to anything on Earth or any experience at all. No. It's just bonkers.
I mean, yeah, he could just be making it up.
He could. I mean, for instance, if I made some awe-inspired music, do you think you'd be able to talk like him over it and just make the words up?
Sure.
Do you think?
Easy.
Do you want to try that now?
Why not? Then?
How long do you think you could go for?
Ages.
Really?
Sure.
And you just talk about how wide things are, how narrow they are, what colour light they... Well, let's kick in some music. I mean, this is music I made for this. Let's see how long you last.
Here it goes.
Look, really far, far away is a giant big plate, like a plate, called Julia 19. Oh, it's ever so large and it's huge. Look at that, you could pile so much pudding on the top of it. It's massive and great big. Further away from that even is Michael Nonceface 69,000.
How big?
It's really much bigger than even Julia 15 or whatever the number was that I said of the plate. It's so big, it's like a big massive balloon or a house.
How wide?
Really, really wide. Like a road. A massive as wide as a big road.
What colour?
It's incredibly green and glowing green. And bits of green toffees are coming off the top of it. And people are catching them in their mouths. It's massive though. Imagine the most big toffee you ever saw. It's bigger than... It's bigger than that.
Do something bigger.
But dwarfing all those things ever so...
I've exploded.
The universe exploded.
Like Rumpelstiltskin.
It was too big. You overdone it.
That's inspiring. I mean, that's a good show that we could do right there.
We just done it.
The Universe show. Okay, I think it's probably time for some Foo Fighters, isn't it?
Always time for some Foo Fighters.
Here's Rope! They're unlikely to completely radically reinvent themselves anytime soon, are they, the Foo Fighters?
You never know.
You'd never know.
You never know.
Wouldn't put anything past Grohl. That was Rope by the Foo Fighters. This is Adam and Joe here on BBC 6 Music. 20 past 12, little time check there for you. In around about 40 minutes, you're going to be joined by the mighty Liz Kershaw. She's going to be in the house with Moby. He's going to be here talking to Liz about...
I really like your new style.
This is my new style.
I mean, you sound like a professional DJ.
Yeah, sure I am. Yeah, Crunch and Roll. That's my middle names. And Moby's going to be chatting to Liz about all kinds of things.
You're so energised. I'm excited.
Yeah, sure. He's going to be here and there. You're slightly ruining and trampling over the link, but that's it's not a problem. That's fine. Moby's going to be here, and
this is amazing.
You're ruining it again.
I'm sorry.
He's going to be in the studio with Liz from 1 o'clock here on BBC 6 Music. Moby's going to be talking about music and all kinds of things. Could be anything from Moby's arms to
this is exciting.
Moby's fish collection.
Why has it taken you so long to get here?
And I've been doing a bit of practicing, and I thought I shouldn't unveil the new voice until around about 20 past 12.
So dynamic.
22 minutes past 12 it is now.
It's sexy too.
Coming up to 21 minutes past 12 here on BBC 6 Music, the House of 6, House of Steady On.
Oh God.
I don't want to say it, it's only 20 past 12. Did someone say 6? Not for me, missus. Steady on. Liz Kershaw's going to be here from 1 o'clock with Moby, the bald-headed genius. He's going to be chatting to Liz about music and much, much, much more besides.
I've had enough now. I hate it.
Don't miss that.
We're awful.
All right, here's a free play.
Get out.
Sorry. Here's my free play. This is a Spanish band. They're called Mujeres. I mean, now I'm self-conscious about
When will this end? When will you stop talking?
I'm doing a normal voice now. All right? That guy earlier about the Australian has made me self-conscious about doing offensive, stereotypical racial accents. Come on, man.
We've had about 300 emails. I read you out the one bad one.
Oh, really?
Is that the right thing to do?
No, because those ones fixate in your head mind. This is Mujeres. This is a track called The Right On. So it's all about it's like a it's about the 60s. Here it is.
Well, I'm eating a delicious orangey flavoured mini cake.
That was sent to us along with an amazing Welcome Home Adam and Joe banner made by Rue and Jane. Thank you so much, ladies.
It's amazing.
We can't thank you enough. It's really nice of you.
You might be able to see it on the webcam. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's beautifully made. I mean, it really is. A lot of love and care has gone into it, and thanks as well for
thanks, Rue. Thanks, Jane.
For the yummy cake stroke biscuits.
I've had 3. It took me about 3 seconds to eat 3.
Wow, you ploughed through those.
I can eat biscuits really fast. Is that a skill?
I used to be able to do that. In fact, there's a video of me somewhere, like, piling them into my mouth.
I don't really even... I remember the first one, and I remember the last one, but I really don't remember any of the biscuits in between.
Yeah, good times.
Thanks, man.
Good times. Now, listen, we are coming up to... Actually, we've just gone. We've just gone past 11... Oh, it's all going wrong. 12:30, it was the other one. So it's time for the news. That's not how you say baby. Baby.
That's one of those famous words that pop artists have a license to mangle.
Yeah, of course. He does it very goodly.
He does it very goodly.
Does it really goodly, really goodly. That's Julian Cope. I come from another planet, baby.
Earlier we were talking about made-up jokes, and I, told Adam an amazing made-up joke that you completely poo-pooed. I mean,
I did a little poo-poo on it, but
did a big old poo-poo right on
I
its
poured
face.
a small bucket of scorn over it. It has to be said.
So let's hear some that have come in from our listeners over our period of absence, and maybe one that Buckules has made up.
Yeah, I think I may have even said this one on our Christmas podcast, but let's have the jingle first. Why not?
I'm a funny person, I often make up jokes. My jokes are more amusing than those of other folks. When you hear my joke, I think you'll find that you agree. Come on, you're all invited to a made-up joke party.
Now, the first joke that I made up, I just said to James, our producer, and James gave it the thumb down for live transmission, the thumb down. So what we might do is maybe put it at the end of the podcast.
I'm not sure it's suitable for the podcast either.
It's a little fruity for the podcast, but maybe we can bury it like a long silence or something. We'll try and figure something out and
bury it. How do you mean bury it?
Well, it'll be right at the end.
I see.
So you think it's finished?
Oh, I thought you meant like you'd play it underneath some other talking.
Oh, I see.
Like quietly.
So
you'd have to listen really hard for it.
That's an idea. You could be talking at the end of the podcast about something, right?
Yeah.
Monologuing, and then I could just be saying it quietly.
You could put it on one of the stereo
corner.
channels or something.
Yeah, I like it. So you'll have to listen to the podcast to find out if we get that one through. But this one is not so much a joke as just a funny thing I said. Does that count?
That's a good way to lower people's expectations.
Yeah, during a game of Scrabble, which I was playing with my beautiful wife, she was complaining that she had too many vowels. Right, she'd been. So
I've thought that about her in the past.
Right, a little too vowely.
Yeah.
So Dr. Buckles says, check this out. A bad word man blames his tiles.
Nice.
A bad wordman... Because it's like a bad workman blames his tools.
Yes, thanks.
But I'm playing Scrabble. So I said, a bad word man, because that's the game of Scrabble.
I think you have said this before.
Blames his tiles.
I think you have said this before.
Haven't I?
Yeah. And how sad. What a sad reflection on you.
That I'm wheeling it out again.
You were wheeling it out again after 15 months.
It wasn't that long. It was Christmas, I said.
15 months in which... What, last Christmas? You said it on the Christmas show.
That's when I gave you my heart. The one that's just gone.
That's sad.
All right, well, let's have some ones from actual humans then.
Okay, here's one that's coming from Chog.
Chog, good name, Chog.
Chog lives in caveman times.
Does he?
Yeah.
Excellent job, Chog.
He's communicated by smashing together rocks very loudly. What did Adam say to Joe after arriving at their French holiday villa late one night when Joe wanted to rush straight down to the beach for a paddle even though it was very late and very dark?
I don't know.
Adama, Joe. Adama, Joe.
Oh.
That's not bad.
Highfalutin Chog.
Yeah.
He's a clever
French
caveman.
He is. He's French.
Very nice, Chogly. Do you think Chog is short for Chogly?
Yes.
Here's one from Andy in Littlehampton, and he says, what do you call a little purple guitarist holding hands with Skippy? Prince Andrew. Prince and Rue. Prince Andrew. Prince.
I mean, that's good because that's probably made up.
Obviously,
that gets the made-up seal of
Timmy
approval.
Vine's not going to have made that.
Does he get the funny stamp?
Or does he get the long pause with a little fart?
Oh,
bad one. You got another one there?
Yeah, this is a cheese-based one. I'm always suspicious of cheese-based jokes.
Really?
Because I imagine they would have been thoroughly mined.
The puns are too easy, aren't they?
But this is quite a good one, I think. What cheese... Maybe not. I don't know. I mean, it's good, but is it original? Is it made up?
Guess.
What cheese can be smelt by rodents from a great distance? Farm mouse cheddar. Now, that's probably been made up before, hasn't it?
Do you think so? I mean...
Farm mouth.
I just don't see Jimmy Carr launching into his new
Joe
tour.
Boswell. Do you know, in the past, we've asked people to contextualise their jokes with the story of how they came up with it.
Right.
To provide us some background
Some
evidence.
provenance, yeah.
Some provenance, exactly. So we can get BBC researchers to double check.
Here's one that I really think is made up, and it's kind of brilliant, I think, from Sam in Elephant and Castle. My auntie got me a castle-shaped calculator for Christmas last year. Wasn't sure what to make of it, but it's the thought that counts. Castle-shaped calculator.
Yes, that's good. I
It's
mean,
the
that's definitely
thought that
homemade, isn't it?
counts.
That's homemade.
You'd think so. I mean, maybe it's too good. Maybe it's a
No.
teeny fine one.
It's not too good.
You don't reckon?
No, it's homemade.
The thought that counts.
It's like a little cake you get from a local village fete that tastes a bit off, but you
It's
eat it
too
anyway.
lemony.
Yeah, tiny bit too
the
much.
icing's a little bit tart.
It's good. That's good.
I love that one.
Here's one.
Thanks, Sam.
Oh, now you gave me this one and circled it. You were trying to sabotage me.
I was palming you off with the stinky ones.
This is from Danny in Belfast, who's given a lot of kisses at the end of this. 1, 2, 3, I think there's 10 kisses.
Any hugs?
Well, there's a big kiss and then 9 small ones.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
He's going in for the big smooch and then he's just fondling your buttocks
Okay.
for a while.
It's a she.
Even better.
Dani. When I was 10, I made up a joke that I still tell, and I laugh every time I tell it. What do you call Noel's house party after it's been run over by a steamroller? Noel's flat party.
You see-
Adam and Joe, BBC 6 Music. It's 17 minutes to 1.
Stay tuned for Liz Kershaw. She's coming up at 1 o'clock. She'll be interviewing the music star Moby. That's not strictly true, is it? He's going to be sitting in. But there'll be some interviewing going on, right? He's here. He's in the house talking to her. So, yeah, it's a legitimate explanation of what's going to be happening. I mean, I slightly ruined my little throat.
You're really good.
I was really good for a short period, but now it's deserted me. I'm going to be unveiling a new podcast jingle in just a second for Joe's analysis. But first, here's the Zootons with Valerie. That's the Zootons there with Valerie. You're listening to Adam and Joe here on BBC 6 Music, the home of sixes and musics. I'm feeling.
I just found another. I found another made-up joke I made. I'm too scared to say it to you now because you were so cruel about my other made-up joke.
Oh, come on! I thought it was great.
Now you're being cruel to me for not wanting to say it.
Mama from the Throw.
It's a hip hop one though. Mm-hmm. It's like based on KRS-One. Does anyone even know who that is anymore?
Sure,
do you know James, our producer? You know who KRS-One is?
Yeah.
What's his alternative name? What are they called? Boogie Down Productions, BDP. Mm-hmm. What did KRS-One say when he saw a beautiful religious statue for sale at a knockdown price? Buddha bye bye bye, Buddha bye bye bye. That's the end of that one.
That's great.
Thanks. That's great. Say that in your DJ voice.
That's great.
That's more like it. That's the voice I want you to be in when you respond to my made-up
DJs
jokes.
don't really talk like that anymore. That's a kind of an observation about
you're a
DJs
DJ
from
and
15
you do.
years ago. Listen, I changed my mind about unveiling the podcast jingle here live.
We should unveil the podcast jingle on the podcast. And we should remind listeners that a podcast of this programme is available. You can listen again via the BBC iPlayer, of course, immediately after the show.
Yeah.
But I think on Monday, a podcast will be available via all the usual sources. It's going to be tomorrow even.
Tomorrow.
It has exclusive special extra content, like we do a little intro and an extra.
Yeah,
extra.
Extra.
That's a
scary
70s film about alien men.
That's the guy wandering around on his like upside down, isn't it?
Yeah, the backflip. Man.
Yeah. But we cram as much extra content as we are legally allowed to.
I should say, I believe extra is probably early 80s, not 70s.
Right.
Let's get that right.
All the sci-fi nerds on your ass. Listen, I wanted to get something off my chest a little bit, right? Or at least ask you if you ever have this problem. I've been worried about something. Every time I go to the petrol station to fill up, I get very worried. I put the pump in the slot, right? And I do the filling up. But then at the end, when you've finished, I give the pump a little waggle, right? Before completely withdrawing it. Because I want to
Men love to waggle us about just to check that it's all come out.
But this is exactly the thing. It's exactly the same gesture as the...
Yes, as when you might be at a urinal.
Right. And whenever I do it at the petrol station, I feel a little bit embarrassed and exposed doing it.
Do you ever attempt to pop the petrol nozzle into your pants? Like get the two actions confused. Pop it in there and zip it up and then go, oh dear.
What, and then wee into the petrol tank?
Yes.
It's happened a couple of times, but not more than that.
It's only human.
But do you ever get that? Has it ever crossed your mind when you're performing that action that it's a little bit of an intimate action?
What I tend to do is I tend to tap the nozzle on the side of the orifice in order to get the drops out.
We're still talking
and that's
about
not something I do in a urinal.
No.
This is a dangerous area for 10 to 1.
It is a little bit, isn't it?
On BBC Six Music.
Nozzles and slots. Well, I'm sure I'm...
So what's the deal? You're getting embarrassed about doing it?
Yeah, I'm just...
Are you afraid someone will see you?
No, it just seems like
it just
weirdly...
seems a bit sort of toilety.
A bit intimate, yeah. And maybe the way I'm doing it is too similar. Because, I'm performing exactly the same basic function, aren't I?
Well, is your... yeah, that's interesting. I mean, height-wise, where do your nether regions... do they sit at the same level as
the Netherlands?
As the hole for the petrol?
Yeah, my Netherlands are more or less exactly...
and when you hold the spout, are you holding it sort of at midriff level?
A little bit. Yeah, no, I don't know.
So how can we fix this?
I'm not really worried about it. I'm not losing sleep.
Oh.
But
you've wasted our time.
It crosses my mind. I was just wondering if it had ever crossed your mind.
It definitely crosses my mind, yeah.
It's fun, isn't it? Okay. Now, Joe, you've got a free play. This is your last free play.
Sure, I do. This is a bit of hippity hoppity. This is Q-Tip and Rozelle is his name. I think that's how you say it. It's from their 1999 album, so it's up to date stuff. Wow. Latest hip hop sounds.
Yeah.
Produced by Marley Marl. The album's called Make the Music 2000. The track's called Get the Beat.
Y2K.
Q-Tip and Rozelle. This has been Adam and Joe on BBC Six Music. Thank you so much for listening, everyone who's listened. We're really happy to be back, and we're going to have a great summer. We're going to be here all summer, all the way up to Glastonbury, so please stick with us.
Yeah, we missed you. We really did. It was a yawning chasm without your texts and your emails and your amusing comments. So please keep them coming in throughout the week. Don't forget to get in touch with us for Retro Text the Nation next week on that brilliant Text the Nation subject, which was... What have you
there was none. It's just anything.
What have you been doing?
What's up? Question mark.
Yeah.
That's it.
Anything fun from the last 15 months. Yeah.
The email is adamandjoy.sixmusic@bbc.co.uk. So please send in stuff during the week.
Yeah. Don't forget to stay tuned for Liz Kershaw. She's going to be here in just a few minutes with her special guest Moby. It's very exciting here on Six Music. So until next week, take care, listeners. We love you. Bye.
Bye.